Welcome to the Degenerate Nation podcast. Don't change the station. It's the Degenerate Nation. How are you?
Oh, I'm good, man. I love how you do it. You get it in deep.
Yeah. I'm all fired up today, man.
I
My
got.
Mountain Dew is sitting inside.
You got your
You're
dew?
gonna have to get that at some point when you're on one of your diatribes or rants about the way the world works, or when you start talking about women. And I have a few minutes to walk away.
How the world works or women and.
Yeah.
Well, the world's a terrible place right now.
It's not the best.
No, it's probably one of the worst in a while, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's tough. You got people protesting and or rioting, depending on what side of the spectrum you're on.
Mm-hmm.
You got viruses, pandemics,
lockdowns,
economic downturn,
what's
all
that?
sorts of things.
Oh yeah. The little furlough action for me. Little still working, but don't have to go in the office for you, but have kids to manage for you. No one's fully winning.
There's got to be people winning. I'd say all the senators that just have been strategically making millions of dollars on this thing.
Oh yeah,
they've been winning.
I mean, they're not winning.
Yeah, I mean, I say Elon Musk. I guess he's winning. You know, his company was about to send people to space today, but canceled due to weather. You know, he's winning.
He's got a new baby. They named it some weird ass shit, and then his rocket got canceled. He's kind of a dick, though.
Yeah, but I'm glad.
You're glad that he's a dick?
You have to be a megalomaniac.
Yes.
Like, you think, Thomas Edison, marvelous inventor, total fucking asshole. Tesla, marvelous inventor, total fucking asshole. Like, to be the best, you have to be a total dick.
Or to be second best in Edison's case. Tesla was better, but Edison was a better marketer, right? That's what I heard.
And they had this, lifelong beef and all that stuff. I mean, I frankly don't know enough about history to be able to talk about it.
Well, they weren't able to collaborate over Google Docs then. Can you imagine if they got to collaborate over Google Docs? What the world would be like?
A whole different world. We would have had the DC current or AC current. Whichever one we don't have, we would have had.
I think it's the DC.
I think we have AC, direct current.
I think it's the Marvel and DC currents.
Oh, okay. Yeah, hashtag MCUE, MCU, right? Yeah, DCEU, that's what it is.
Yeah, I've been looking for...
Marvel Cinematic Universe.
So this manager that we were in contact with that likes one of our scripts, like we've been working on material to augment it. And he wanted some more pictures, of from TV shows, movies, and real world that reflect, it's I guess whoever is gonna check it out can't read, so they're just gonna get the all we wrote was kind of pointless, and they just want pictures probably. So I've been just firing up pictures of the ghetto stuff, ghetto scenes for 2 hours, and then occasionally going down a rabbit hole reading the articles about The Wire that come with them.
Well, I mean, when you've told me about it, I'm just picturing, The Wire and Martin and
Shameless,
Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's what I picture.
A lot of killings, maybe. We'll see.
Mm.
We'll see. We'll see how many killings there are.
Yeah. Or Precious's Neighborhood.
Yes. Basically. Good old Precious.
Yeah.
Knock my ass out. I'm trying to think what stories I haven't told yet, Mm-hmm. Is this going to be a clip show? I think it's a clip show.
They're all clip shows.
They're all clip shows?
Yeah, I either start with momentum or I end with momentum, and then somehow energy gets zapped away.
Oh, we got to get that due pretty soon. You'll know when. Yeah. You'll know when you get me. You got to get me on a topic where I can rant.
Yeah.
Don't get me on police brutality, please.
What's that?
Don't get me on police brutality. I don't think people tune in to this for police brutality breakdowns. No.
Nor should they.
No, we are not an intelligent. Yeah, we're not an intelligent
program. We're not in a position to weigh in.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just I saw some article and it was just or piece, and it was just on Medium. I'm like, oh, the real hard hitting news, and it was 75 ways that white people can help with racial injustice or something like that. I was like, is so you turned that topic into clickbait?
Number 40, you won't believe number 43.
Yeah. Exactly. You won't believe number 43 will blow your mind. Go to celebrity. Which one was that? Celebrity what's? Celebrity Net Worth episode. That was a good episode of ours. But I don't know. I was like not engaging in that. I'm pretty sure that all of them will just sound really condescending and like things that will make me feel bad for not doing something. And like, no, I'm not going to read this.
Yeah, it's my privilege not to.
Well, I don't care. I have, there's a couple people whose voices I would actually listen to on that. And like, dude, if you need someone to talk to, like, I'm here, but I don't know why you would want to talk to me about it because I've been to a couple places where I've been to like a riot. I've never been to a protest. No, I've been to a couple protests. Never mind. But never like.
I've never been to a protest or riot. There is a distinction between the two.
Yes. Would you explain it for our Vietnamese audience?
It's in America that the difference is a protest generally is there's a form you fill out and it gets approved and there's notice ahead of time. That's generally a protest.
Yeah.
Which is you're totally allowed to do, totally legal. Gatherings, mass gatherings of people, agitated people, can still be a protest.
Yeah.
However, it gets responded to differently than a protest that, like, people march on the mall in D.C. all the time.
Yeah, all the time. And they're always save the Halliburton! Or the fish! Save the fishes! What's that?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was stepping on you.
They have permits to be there, and it's all on up and up. And if they don't have permits, they're generally asked to leave. And that's just universally, how things work here.
Yeah.
Now, you can have a protest without a permit, but you might be asked to leave. Riot is generally just a media term. Or most people think once a car gets flipped, it's now a riot. If something's on fire, it's now a riot. Now, I have been in a riot, but I haven't been in a protest.
VCU Final Four?
Yes.
I was in a sports riot, too. They're so safe. You can burn something right in front of someone, and they're like, please go away.
Yeah. So VCU in Richmond, Virginia, went to the Final Four, and they lost. And afterwards, we're all going to go walk to the arena where they play, the Siegel Center. And we're all walking there, like, VCU, and who did they lose to? Butler?
Butler, yeah. Fucking Butler.
Like, fuck Butler. And then, as we're getting closer and closer to the Siegel Center, instead of fuck Butler and VCU, it's fuck the police. And we're like, uh-oh. Oh, no. We turn the corner, and it's just riot police across Broad Street. And, like,
oh
there's
my
a mob
God.
of people.
Yeah.
And, like, it was we were disappointed at the loss, but also excited that, Cinderella story, they made it to the Final Four.
Yeah.
It was great.
That was a great team. Joey Rodriguez, sweats from three.
Great team. And then once you're there down at ground zero of the riot, you kind of want to see what happens.
Yeah.
And then I kind of get closer to Broad Street, peek my head around the corner of the alley, and then it's like, oh, there's something on fire in the middle of Broad Street.
Of course.
Now, like, the police have essentially a tank. It's this big armored vehicle that they're rolling down the street, just hosing people down. Then tear gas starts flying. We're like, we're going to leave. I went around the Siegel Center with my wife and, like, popped out behind the riot line of the police officers. And there's a police officer. I'm like, I just want to go home. Can I walk across the street? They're like, yeah, let's go ahead, man. Just go on home. I'm like, all right, I don't want to be a part of the riot.
He's like, yeah, no problem. And he turns it over to somebody right there. Fuck you!
Yeah. All in all, some people got tear gas and stuff, but everyone went home, and there was a little bit of property damage. Pretty mild one.
Yeah, I went to the OG sports riot. It was 2004, and I was in Boston to visit my friend Co, and the Red Sox won the World Series that night, and they hadn't won since 1918, and it was fucking crazy. Like like when it started to get broken up a little bit, we went to a Burger King. There was like 500 people in the Burger King at least. I was pretty drunk. It was great. It was a great time.
Yeah.
And then the next day I went around with a fucking 3-corner hat on and like hit on Boston College girls. It was great. I was like, my 20s are gonna be awesome. Just like sporadic like bursts of awesomeness. It's like a scatter plot. It's all like down at the bottom, and then the rest there's like these bursts of like joy.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I feel like the thing with sports riots or not even celebrations that turn into riots, it only takes a handful of bad apples to start setting things on fire, right?
Right.
I guarantee they didn't go to school there. They were probably just from Richmond area in general and went to school somewhere else or nowhere, and they set shit on fire.
No, I don't think it's bad apples. I mean, that's definitely the case. But
Setting
like,
fires, dude?
Some people, you get this chaotic energy.
Yeah.
Where there's this mob of people, you don't know what's going to happen, and everyone kind of wants something to happen.
Yeah, they want murder.
There's like a sick part of, there's like this part, I mean, it isn't me. Like, I wanted to see something. I would have been disappointed if, we're standing there with riot shields next to us, and it's like, oh, something better happened to justify this. And it's terrible. And you do a little bit to egg it on, and then someone does a little bit more, and someone does a little bit more, and someone does a little bit more, and then finally it's just escalation, and things get out of hand. And that's when trained police officers can de-escalate situations with, tear gas. Tear gas is very effective, de-escalating.
It's really rough. Did you get tear gas or get some, like, residue?
I saw the cloud, but we left. We didn't get any of it. I saw people who, were crying and everything, and, tear gas is awful, but it does disperse a crowd pretty effectively. Yeah. I'm not pro tear gas. I'm not pro police officers tear gassing people. However, I do understand that is really effective.
Yeah, I don't. I wouldn't say I'm on the fence. I'd say I'm 70-30 don't tear gas college students for celebrating or like getting upset that their team lost. When make all your money off the teams, the school makes and their community makes every fiber of their dollars off of that type of experience. And so, like, if everyone has so invested in this, it makes sense that the college kids get so invested in it. Let them blow up the steam and then give them citations if they fuck something up. They're like, hey, we're not arresting you. Give them citations.
You can't cite a mob, though. When you have a mob...
Damn it, we need robots. We need heavily armed robots.
When you have 1,000 people that shut down a street, action needs to be taken to send the people home. So, I get it. But, we live in a society. There's rules.
Yeah. Well, when I saw that they were in Minneapolis, they were like quote unquote rioting, and it wasn't. It was just some people took it to a next degree and set a cop car on fire or graffitied a cop car or something. I think it was graffitiing a cop car and shit. And that, for when I saw earlier, that was the only today. I mean, it might have been an update since then, but that was the only thing I heard that was like seemed untoward towards the people that weren't the 4 people that were there for that crime. It's a crime. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I mean, that's how most of these things happen, where there's like a bunch of people that are upset and executing their First Amendment right to voice their concern and be upset, and then some asshole does something, and that's what gets the news coverage,
Mm-hmm.
And then I think any group gathering, like, I get it, it's effective, but also I don't feel strongly about anything enough to go.
I don't. I feel bad that I don't. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
It's a place of privilege to not have to do that.
I feel better because I'm like, I blame like feeling like low moods and stuff for like not feeling passionate enough about something and not present enough in that passion that doesn't exist in the first place to like act on that. But then I'm just like, maybe I just don't care, and I'm just like hurting myself by telling myself that it's bad that I don't have that type of passion. Maybe I'm great for not having it.
Sure, maybe.
Maybe? You think so? I mean, I'm like,
no,
I'm obviously...
No, I don't, but
no,
maybe.
I'm upset, but what can I personally do? I don't have any money to donate to any campaign. I don't live there.
Yeah, I mean... So I watch a lot of live PD.
Nice.
Like a lot of live PD.
So you're pro cop, big time.
No.
No? What's live PD?
Live PD's, it's like cops, and it's live, and it's interesting, and there's times where, like, all right, so I'm pro our system of laws, right?
Yeah.
I am. A society has to have laws.
Yeah, of course.
And everyone has accountability. And I watch these live PD shows a lot, where, like, so often the police are very good at phrasing things a certain way so that it's a request and not an explicit, demand. Where, like, you mind if I search your person? You can say no, right? But everyone's like, do you have anything on you? Right? That's the question they ask. No, I don't have anything on you. Do you mind if I search your person? You can say no. They might take you down to jail, right? They might.
Yeah.
But, like, with a lawyer, you can then get out of all of these things. It's best to comply in the moment and then fight it with a lawyer, because what the cops do can be irrelevant to.
Yeah.
And I get that. I'm saying this.
Unless they stomp on your neck to death.
Right. Exactly. Like, that's where things get absurd. Where, like, the police, like, that guy's obviously he murdered him. I mean, there's no, like.
Yeah.
This one's no doubt.
I don't watch those things because they're essentially snuff films, but I read a fair amount, and, like, it sounds like he straight up killed him. So. Yeah,
and he's gotten fired, and he's being investigated by the FBI. They're handling that. Like, this one, it's a good thing that, because of these protests, because of other things, there's been. I mean, we initially said we're not going to talk about this, but now we're
like deep in it now. Fuck it.
Yeah, there's enough of these things where now there's body cameras, there's weapon cameras, and these things are going to get better, but it's going to take a significant chunk of time before it does get better. I don't think that. I mean, just like any other job, like look at NFL players, right? How many times there's, like, domestic violence? It's like, something's wrong with the NFL and all the players. It's roid rage and it's all these other things.
Yeah, no, it's just people have
how many plumbers beat their wives. We just don't have the numbers.
Complex human interactions with people that aren't necessarily on roids, but have excess testosterone.
Yeah, how many at any job suck or are assholes? It's unfortunate that police, walk around with guns and have the ability not just to ruin your lives, but to end lives.
Well, like that.
And it sucks. And then each case you see something different, and it's always, but, like, the police are trained not to put your knee on someone's throat. You don't need to. The guy's already cuffed. He's on the ground. Like, what? That's shitty. And
what
the
did
people
the person
who were looking there were complicit, and regardless of the person's race, creed, ethnicity, doesn't matter.
Yeah. What did he allegedly do to?
The situation was already de-escalated.
To be handcuffed. Like, why did they handcuff him in the first place? What did he do?
I don't know, and it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Like, the man's innocent. Innocence is irrelevant. Like, everyone's innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, I just feel like if it was something he didn't even need to be handcuffed for, then it's somehow goes from, like, horrifically despicable to even more horrifically despicable, because, like, you did an unnecessary action followed by lethal unnecessary action.
Yeah,
so, like,
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, so many of these times where someone gets shot or something happens, you think about you hear the details of what led up to it. Oftentimes you hear that the police officer felt the person was going for their gun, what have you, and, like, there are cases where that happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or the
sure.
or that one in Georgia, the rednecks went for he went for the rednecks gun, supposedly the person who was stalking them illegally.
Oh yeah, that one was absurd. That one was absurd. That one, I mean, those guys murdered him. I watched the video.
Oh, you watched those?
Yeah.
Why?
Because there's people who will ask me about it, and they'll hear the story of it, and I'm like, well, wait, those details don't make any sense. And then you see the video, and you're like, okay, this is objective. I try to remain objective about everything.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, I have to, I don't know, see it. I don't like to watch snuff films.
No, I objectively think snuff films are bad for me, so I don't watch them. And but I don't like not watch them and then just completely ignore the issue and go turn on The Office. I'll read a couple of pieces about it and hear the summation of what allegedly happened, and then I'll make like a semi-informed opinion about it and only tell people that I value, and not post it on Facebook and like, I'm with you. It doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything at all.
Yeah,
it doesn't make. I can't put myself in the shoes and the mindset of a friend of mine who's black, or like multiple friends of mine who are black, of what it would mean to them for me to post something. But I would assume nothing.
Right.
Or virtually nothing.
Right. So, to the I forget the man's name who was shot by the two.
Arnaud or something, and the Minneapolis guy was named George, I think.
Armand, yeah. So I watched that one, and I'm like, okay, he went for the gun, and I see the thing, and there's a guy standing in the pickup truck with a rifle. There's a guy who gets out of the driver's side with a shotgun. So now you're, as a gun owner who like went through gun training, and, like have some idea of the gun laws in order to protect me, the gun owner, I know that I can't draw my weapon on an unarmed person.
No.
Not allowed to do it. Now I can, as a man, draw against two unarmed men. Then it's self-defense. Two men who could fight me to the death.
Okay, interesting.
I pull my gun and shoot them, right? Now, those numbers were reversed. There's two armed people with guns drawn on an unarmed person who's running. You know he's not armed, right? Just right there, that's now illegal. So anything that man does is in self-defense. Anything that Armand did is in self-defense.
Interesting.
Reaching for the man's gun was to protect his own life. And frankly, I wouldn't have had the guts to do it. That guy did. So, yes, he did reach for his gun. He did try to stop that man from shooting him by going after his gun, and then he got shot.
Yeah. He had no right to, because like there was no murkiness because there was a video.
Right, and I don't know the difference between murder 1, murder 2, murder 3, manslaughter, but they're guilty of a crime. Like murder 1, I think, is like premeditated. They went out to murder someone.
I mean, they went out for something. But
this isn't that, but murder 2, maybe one step.
Murder 2 was considered to be like those crimes of passion, like O.J. Simpson.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me, he was not guilty. So what they charge O.J. Simpson with, like those things that involve like close relationships, usually, like you kill your wife or.
All right, so that's probably not this either. I don't know what it is. It's definitely they killed him intentionally.
Yeah, so it's almost they have to start like another type of murder for a brand new type of murder for these people. Like it's fucking awful.
Like they didn't go out with the intent to murder him.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like the intent to murder wasn't there, but they did end up murdering.
And with that George Zimmerman case, like the reason that he didn't, besides that stand your ground law, which is very murky in itself, that he was acquitted was because there's not video of that, and so you get a decent lawyer against a decent lawyer. Like, good lawyer versus good lawyer, you're going to side with whatever the law is. You're not going to side with supposed proof that he didn't fight him for his life and stuff. And it seemed like an awful situation perpetuated by a total moron. But unfortunately, the moron had a gun, and the kid went for it.
Right.
And they rolled over and something happened. And we can't prove anything from that.
Right. I mean...
But George is an asshole. Zimmerman,
I mean, objectively is an asshole if you look at what has happened at not just that event, but since that event. Like, I mean, he auctioned off the gun that shot. Like, he sold the gun at an auction as, like, the Trayvon killer or something is the name of the gun.
Who bought it?
Sold it off. I don't know. Probably some redneck in Texas for $100,000,
An old man? Was he an old man?
He's an old man.
Oh, an old man, and I got me a ranch. Now I got me a gun to kill a black person.
Yeah.
God, it's awful.
I'm gonna get my Mountain Dew, so let's think of a subject. I'll be right back.
All right, I'll pause it. Oh, we got real. Pivot.
Yeah, we took a pause. I went in my house to find Mountain Dew, and I saw that May Roachclaw had thrown out the Taco Bell cups with the Mountain Dew in it. So, after chaining her up in the backyard, I'm back now. and ready to continue.
You said chaining her in the backyard?
Yeah, we're fine. Let's move ahead.
Oh, okay.
So, despite saying we didn't want to talk about that because we're not equipped to weigh in, we decided to weigh in anyways.
We weighed in.
If you're still with us, congrats, I guess. We didn't say anything that pissed anyone off too much, or we pissed them off so much that they want to hate listen now.
Yes.
But we take your hate listens. We thrive on
Oh, hate me. Hey. Fucking send me an email at degenerateenation@gmail.com telling me that I'm not qualified to weigh in on something that I didn't experience myself.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm not just weighing in out of fear of being thought to be insensitive and not caring about a situation.
But we are going to pivot to something totally different.
Rollerblading.
Nice.
Rollerblades. So
when was the last time you were on rollerblades?
Way too long ago. I need to do it because I saw a picture of my father rollerblading in May 1990, so approximately 30 years ago. He looks great. He's not fat at all in that picture. He's not fat at all. So like 30, he was like 30, he was like 1 year older than me in that picture, or 2 years older than me. And he was not fat at all. And he was rollerblading. He's got the same fucking hairline I do. Like, side profile with the glasses on. It was like dead ringer. Except that he was doing a wholesome activity. So he wasn't in a room somewhere like, meow, talking into the void. Into like fucking a ham radio or something with some truckers talking about poop.
Yeah, he wasn't at his father's vacation house.
Yeah, exactly.
Screaming at nerds over the internet.
Yeah, exactly. But he looked good. Did I show you the picture?
Mm-hmm.
It's good, man. He got the pads on. He's safe. Because he broke his arm rollerblade before anyone else was even rollerblading.
His wrist.
His wrist. Okay, his wrist. His upper wrist. He was an early adopter of things.
Mm-hmm. Well, just rollerblading. I wouldn't say like computers or anything that was worthwhile. Just rollerblading. Despite
selling programs for computers, he wasn't really a computer person per se. The operations, but product is product, you know.
Right.
You use a gun. I use a pen.
Fountain pen.
Fountain pen. Yeah.
So last time you rollerbladed, before or after the new millennium?
I think it was after. I'm not quite sure, but I almost fell into a river. Okay,
so that was probably like you were in college. That was after the millennium.
Yeah,
so
I think it was like after my freshman year, after my. It was definitely after the millennium. It was either after my last year of high school in 2000 or my first year of college, so 2001. It was one of those years. I was with cousin Jenny, who is podcasted here, so we can identify her. And I almost fell into a river. It was great. Isabella River, was it called? Something? I don't know. Fucking river. I was trying to brake, and I couldn't, so I was, like, holding on to the fucking railing, and I'm going, like, choo-choo-choo, and I like, lifted off a little bit. I was like, holy shit. I almost fell in a fucking river rollerblading.
Yeah.
This shit is not for me.
I think my last time was probably 2002, maybe 2003, but I think I've stated on the program before, I have no recollection of the year 2003. So I'll say 2002.
I don't have much recollection of the year 2015 and 2016, except for, like, parts of them.
Yeah.
And 2017.
Yeah, those weren't your best.
No. Like, but I again, though, it was like I mentioned earlier, it was the scatter plot with mostly, like, shit, or, like, not necessarily shit, but just low level type of stuff, activity. And then spikes, like, pew, 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 pew. Like, Chicago Cubs World Series. We went there. And we're like, bought a new car on a whim. Because I didn't want to deal with repairs and recalls forever. And then what happens eventually? You get recalls on the new one. You fucking get rid of that one. It's a system.
Yeah.
I was burned before with a car because I was in horrible mental shape. And I let my car go to shit. And I didn't really have money for repairs. So the thing is, like, You have more money for repairs if you don't ever have to get repairs because you just fucking anything major you just turn in and get another car. So instead of pumping money into a dead asset, depreciated, just dump the bitch.
Never own a depreciating asset.
Yeah, dump the bitch and keep going.
That's not true. I ride mine till the wheels fall off, man.
Well, that's one way. The other way is you either pump and dump or you fucking ride it to the bitter end. You don't do anything in between because that's in that giant void where you're just fucking up. It's this might be an interesting analogy. It's like a haircut. Your hair. When you get a fresh haircut, you look good, right?
Well, it depends. So there's that thing. There's this bell curve of haircuts.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm talking about then.
In the process of getting the haircut.
Okay.
At a certain point when you're getting your haircut, you're like, oh, this is going to be a great haircut. And then they keep going, and you're like, I don't know how I feel about this haircut. Like, you go in with, like, my hair is bad. And then you're like, she's doing a great job. Oh, is she? Why is this taking so long? Why is she getting the other lady? What are they saying in Vietnamese? And then you're like, I shouldn't have let Linda cut my hair.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No, it's also like when you just kind of let your hair go for a while, and that's what it looks bad for quite a while. And then you reach a point where it suddenly looks good again, and you're like, should I keep it like this? Or should I... No, I'm not saying I should keep my hair like... Yours looks better than mine right now. Mine looks like okay, but yours looks great.
Yeah, I was shaking my head at him for those who obviously couldn't see.
What about the mustache?
I'm looking at his hair, and no, he should do something about it.
You don't like the mustache?
It might be time to just start shaving your head. You should shave your head.
I'm not going to shave my fucking head.
Why not? Shave your head and keep the mustache.
Well, then I can't go back to working with kids.
Well, that's true.
What am I going to do? If you hire me to be your like butt boy or something, I'll fucking do it. I'll do it if you're paying me over $30,000 to be your assistant.
What's that in like? I could do like a month of that.
Oh, $30,000.
About $1,200.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking after taxes. Oh yeah. Damn it. Why didn't I say gross? Idiot. This is why I'm in a position to beg for assistant jobs for people that don't need assistance but are still considering it.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking this is like I get you 2 weeks, $800. 1 week, $400.
Yeah.
It's a $30,000 a week thing, right? So $400, you shave your head and you're my bitch for a week. I don't know. I could swing that.
Would I look like Walter White?
A little bit.
Like, no, not him, but Walter White's stand-in on Breaking Bad for when they were doing blocking.
Yeah, potentially.
Well, they don't let him. He's not out of his trailer yet, and I'm blocking the scene, and like they're gonna put the tape out and the X in front of my foot after I stand there for like 15 minutes. Oh, I put Gimp back in the trailer. The Gimp has his own trailer, though. It's one of my demands.
I know that he's been, awarded and everything already, and the show ended a long time ago. But Bryan Cranston did so fucking good.
Yes,
in that role.
He's amazing.
Just like watching like the body language as he shifts to Heisenberg, like putting on the hat, how his like shoulders go back and his posture changes.
Yeah,
upright. In like the early seasons, he's just like so meek. And like I watched this thing with Chris Reeves doing Superman, and he's like talking to Lois in the apartment, and like Superman 1, and he like takes the glasses off for a sec, and like he like grows like an extra inch, and it's just facial expression change. It's such this minor thing where you're like, oh, all right. I mean, he's Clark Kent,
and he's suddenly packing heat down there too, but you don't see it, but you think about it because it was PG, but you think about it. Think about it. Pink.
Yeah.
What Lois? I don't like Superman because I feel like Lois Lane is such a bitch.
I think we've had this exact conversation, and every time I bring up, but what about Amy Adams? She's delightful.
Well, they probably cast her so she wouldn't be such a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Lois can kind of be a jerk.
Well,
you're Superman. You could literally do anything. Have anyone.
Why would you pick her? Yeah. That diminished, and the fact that he's like practically invincible.
I mean, that's what creates these, ridiculous villains. But his weakness is his kindness.
So he goes with the one person in the earth that's capable of being a foil to him, just total bitch. I mean, I guess it makes sense because nice guys end up with bitches, and
I mean, it makes
nice women end up with assholes.
Right, with like Dean Cain in the New Adventures of Lois and Clark. Okay, I get it. Like Dean Cain is and especially in the early '90s, like I'm sure he's slaying broads, but like he's not Henry Cavill.
No,
right? Like
he's nice meat. He's nice meat.
Yeah,
that's
it. Henry Cavill. I mean, Jesus Christ, right?
Yeah, he's pretty good looking.
It's unbelievable.
He's like a. You know who else could have been Superman? Is John Hamm.
Oh yeah, I'd like to see him as Batman too.
Yeah, he'd be a good Bruce Wayne, man, and he wouldn't need a cod piece. He's like, I got my own. I brought my own.
Yeah. I mean, that being said, I'm still a fan of Ben Affleck, and there's a chance that they bring him. I think I heard HBO Max wants to do some Batman stuff and wants Ben Affleck Bat. I like Batfleck.
Can we
talked about this last time too?
Yeah, we get Val Kilmer back though. We can do more Val Kilmer related material on the show.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
down for talking about Val Kilmer some more.
Yeah, he can be somebody else on the show. On the new Batman show. He doesn't have to be Batman. It's just like, use it as stunt casting because he's really good. If he can speak at all, like, he's great.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, not to Joan Whaley, but he's great in other respects.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, he cheated on her with Batman, as we talked about.
Yeah, obviously.
You know what? I'm going to add retroactively to this podcast, this episode. I'd be like, so there was like Tom Petty had like a little interlude on some of his albums. So like people with like not playing on CD, they were playing on record or tape could be like, and now here's the time where you turn on side 2. When we go for like but I guess we already had that when you went to get your Mountain Dew thing that didn't happen. But this is totally different. But you and I get serious once in a while.
Well, we're human beings.
Yeah.
It's not just dick and fart jokes.
Yeah.
We are capable of more. We just, for the most part, make a choice to only talk about the degenerate stuff.
Yeah, and we can talk about like pop culture things, but we don't typically do it for very long unless we put our own little spin on it. Because what then separates us from the myriad of shows that no one ever fucking listens to? Our show that no one ever fucking listens to is weird and interesting and has characters.
Weird for sure. Interesting, I guess. I mean, I don't know. People listen sometimes.
People do listen. I told you this, like, we have a steady floor.
Right.
Like, the floor of listens in the first 30 days is, like, typically in the 30s. Or 40s.
The other thing is, since I'm not doing this, like, once every couple of weeks, it's, like, twice a week for the past 10 weeks.
Yeah.
I just want to just be normal. I just want to be me for a little bit.
You can be you.
Not be on,
You don't have to be on. And we have these guests on once in a while, but you do a good job interviewing them.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like to take the reins.
Those always turn out not, like, at all how we imagine. Not how we drew it up. It always works out.
Well, I mean, Honey Mueller's giving us what he can.
Yeah, now's a good time to mention, we still have the contest going that
yes.
If you send us an email, a tweet, message us in any way, and go hit them with the ways to message us. DegenerateNation@gmail.com is the email, and the Facebook is Degenerate Nation Podcast, and the other Facebook is Degenerate Nation. Yes, we have two, and the Twitter is @Degenerate Show. I would check it once in a while, but often enough to find you. So yeah, you get with us, and then we'll call in. You can call in, and we'll talk to you.
Don't be a diddler, though.
I want to get to know our listeners. A listener, any listener.
Any listener that's not a diddler can talk to us.
Yeah, preferably don't be a diddler.
Just don't be a diddler.
I mean, granted, we're not going to know right off the bat, but it's going to be one of the first 3 questions we ask.
Yeah. So what's up? Yeah. Where are you from, Vietnam? Where in Vietnam are you from? Is question number 1. What's question number 2?
What's your favorite color?
Okay.
Because I like to know those things. My
3
kids ask me all the time.
3 is, are you a diddler? Were you a diddler?
Yeah.
Have you ever wanted to be a diddler?
Yeah. Have you diddled?
Have
or
you
will
diddled?
you diddle?
That's question 4 is, will you diddle? Question 5 is, what is your current relationship with clickbait?
Yeah. And then we'll just go from there. You know, we'll just unload and see what happens.
Yeah.
I think there's rapid fire. I think if we get a person, I'll come up with like 25 questions. You know, just rapid fire. Boom, 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 boom. Go through.
Yeah. Not when me and Wendy do the semi-rapid fire.
Yeah. You know, we should do that, man. We should have just the set Degenerate Nation, 25 questions and just go through.
Yeah, I like that.
I like this idea I just came up with right now, and I'm telling you.
That's a pretty damn good idea. I'm going to try to put Mueller on locating Steed Larson for us.
Okay. Who's Steve Larson?
Steed. S-T-E-E-D.
Oh, Steve Larson. Oh, the porn guy you talked about.
Porn auteur and performer.
But didn't you already talk to him?
No, we talked about him. I told Wendy about him. Wendy seemed pretty intrigued. She said that she was getting...
I didn't listen to the episode.
Oh,
she just told me.
She said she was positively glistening when I talked about his film about the fingering, Wade McKay, the fingerer. We want to put him on features. Like, okay, so we have a porn company. We're going to change the name, but right now it's Creamy Oyster Productions. Okay? And I don't know... Wendy loves it, but I'm going to slowly talk her back from Creamy Oysters because it's not... It's sexual in a way, but not in a way that screams, I want to have sex. Or like, this will make me hard. It's not, This will make you hard Productions would be a better fucking name. Or this is like the Moisture Maker Studios or something.
Yeah, how about Boned Up and Blown Out Productions?
Boned Up and Blown Out Productions. Presents Steed Larson's Firestarter. And it's, so we had this idea for a porn movie or short film, what if you will, a classy, altruistic porn film, short film, and it's just starts in a blazing fire, and there's this woman, and you don't know if she's gonna die or not, and she's screaming, and then somebody busts in the door, and it's this fireman. And he just starts going like this. Like, I'll show you. Like, he does the fucking hose from right by his waist, so it looks like it's like his cock is like extinguishing the fire. And she's just like all big-eyed, and he's like, couch, now. And they just go at it on the couch, and like, while the fire is like, the embers are cooling around them.
Okay.
Yeah. You'd watch that, right?
Probably not. But if you told me to, I might check it out. Like, if you made it, yeah. I'd support your art.
If I made that, you know how that's like the most expensive short porn film ever.
Only if you buy the house that you burned down.
Wait, what? Okay, that could go a number of ways, but please explain.
I mean, if you just, you said it was auteur, amateur film. If you just find a house and start the fire and leave eventually, that's it, right?
Oh, like squat, do a porn squat in their house?
Well, just arson, but with porn.
While they're on vacation.
Yeah, there you go. It's just arson, really. It's just arson.
It's also breaking and entering.
You're just burning someone's house and then entering it and then entering her.
Yeah. Break and entering and then enter her while you burn the shit down. Yeah, no, I think it's got a lot of potential. Just stuff like that.
So, it's inexpensive. I mean, a jerry can full of gas and you're good to go.
What's a jerry can? Is that those cans, those big red cans?
Yeah, they're called jerry cans.
Was some guy named Jerry invented them?
Conceivably, yeah.
I think Jerry's a good name for a guy that carries gas around with him. Hey, I got some gas.
Why don't I bing why it's called a jerry can?
Yeah, bing it. Bing the jerry can. Bing the jerry can. Carrying around the gasoline like only Jerry can.
So jerry cans, this is what my guess was actually. Jerry cans were introduced for storing extra gasoline for German vehicles during World War II. Jerry was what the Allied soldiers called their German counterparts, and hence the name jerry cans because of their German origins.
So it's a slur, but for the bad guys.
I mean, it was basically like those Jerry's in their cans, jerry cans, you know.
So what about a woman's breast that's German from the 40s? Could you still call them jerry cans?
Yes.
That's great.
Fräulein's jerry cans.
Fräulein's cans. How you feeling right now?
Good, I'm done.
All right, we're going to go rollerblade.